Hello everyone, welcome to the Ozark Outpost. This is Global War 85, Operation Pershing, Soviet Global Command 8.3. So here we are with tech, PGM computers, advanced SLBMs, chemical, advanced sonar. Okay, yes on PGM. I believe that's no on everything else. Yep. PGM is completed. Soviets now have full land target select with their cruise missiles. Okay. Military aid and purchase. The Soviets are spending 16 to send Warsaw Pact 2 more fighters, and then 24. Wait a minute. 24 to build 2 MBTs and 2 fighters, and then the remaining 15 on a destroyer and 3 frigates. Okay, combat. Here in eastern Iran, these 2 MBTs are going to come down from Tehran and attack. 2 fighters from Baghdad are going 1-2 over here to support the attack. Strategic bomber here in the skies over Iraq is going to shoot a pair of cruise missiles into Basra in a surgical strike. There's no SAMs there, so no missile defense. In the Atlantic here, it's a bad glare. Okay, that's a little better. Let's see here. The SSN is going to come off silent running and remain in A-27. It's going to shoot 2 anti-ship missiles into A-26. The SSGN here is going to move to A-20, where he will come off silent running and shoot 2 P-700s into that zone. This SSGN will move to A-32, where he will come off silent running and shoot 2 P-700s into that zone. This SSN from A-39 is going 1-2 into A-30, where he is going to shoot 2 more anti-ship missiles into that zone. So there's going to be a total of 4 anti-ship missiles and 4 P-700s. And NATO has 6 missile defense shots. Then over here in A6, this SSN is going to shoot 2 anti-ship missiles at the NATO fleet in A6. This SSGN is going to shoot 2 P-700s. That's the limit because that's all they have left. They're exhausting their supplies of those 2 missile types. And then once again, the backfire and the 2 blinders are going to come over from Murmansk 1, 2, 3, escorted by the ASF. They are going to fire a total of 4 KH-22s. into A6 at the NATO fleet. Yeah. And NATO has decided it is going to scramble its 3 fighters into A5 to try and intercept this airstrike. Then the one of the amphibs from A9 is going to load the 2 Marines from Murmansk and go 1, 2 over here. Oh no, I knocked over a backfire. He's going to go over here, and they are going to amphibiously assault Akershus. The airborne from Nordland is going in an airborne assault. The 2 airborne from Murmansk are also going in airborne assault. And then the Soviets didn't want it to work out this way, but no battle plan survives first contact with the enemy, so they are going to pull the trigger on Finland this turn. So Air Cav from Leningrad comes over along with an attack chopper and an MBT. Now, of course, this is going to prompt Sweden to sign a military pact with NATO. And since that is going to happen anyway, we just thought we're going to do another attack. The fleet here in A14, which is a cruiser, a destroyer, a frigate, and 2 diesel boats, is coming out of port. And they're going over here to attack the Swedish fleet in A13. Since those are going to become NATO boats anyway, they're going to go ahead and attack them. And I believe that's going to be that. Yep, I think that'll be it for combat. All right, so first up, we will do the attack there in eastern Iran. So we get 2 MBTs in mountains, so they are at 3. Both miss. 2 fighters. There's 1 hit. 1 hit. Okay, now we got 2 mechs defending, or 2 paramilitary, excuse me, defending for nothing. So 1 paramilitary comes off, 1 remains. Round 2. 2 MBTs, nothing. 2 fighters, 2 hits, only 1 was required. 1 paramilitary defends for a miss. All right. He comes off. The Soviets have captured eastern Iran, and that operation to conquer Iran is concluded. Okay, now we will have the surgical strike into Basra. And remember, they have PGMs now, so their cruise missiles are going to be land target select. And they got 2 hits, 4 and a 5. So, naturally, they're going to target the 2 mechs. Take them out of there. Just leaving 1 light infantry. Okay, next up, we're going to have all the cruise missiles shooting, or all the anti-ship missiles shooting there in A26. So we've got 6 AMD shots by the Americans. And they got 3 hits. 3 hits. Okay, so the Soviets are going to take the hits on 3 anti-ship missiles because they roll 5s, whereas the P-700s roll 6s. So now we have 2 anti-ship missiles and 4 P-700s. So 2 anti-ship missiles. We got 1 hit. And I didn't mention it in combat movement, but spy satellite's going to be used in A6, not this one. Okay, and now we have 4 P-700s rolling at 6. And there are 2 hits there for a total of 3. Yeah, let's look at that. Okay, it doesn't say anything about ship missiles, just I was looking at PGMs to make sure it did not include anti-ship missiles. So the Americans have to take 3 casualties over here. And they're going to have to take 3 frigates. That's just all there is to it. Okay, oh, forgot to mention at the beginning of the turn, the battleship is in port and began its damage repair at the... Oh, no, this isn't the American turn. Never mind. Never mind. So 3 frigates killed in A26. Now we've got the action in A6. They don't have a cruiser, so there isn't any missile defense there. So we've got 2 anti-ship missiles. Now this one has spy satellite for target selection. 2 anti-ship missiles at 5. Gets 1 hit. Now we have 2 P-700s at 6. Gets 1 hit, makes 2. And now we have 4 KH-22s at 7. And there is 3 more hits for a total of 5 that are going to be all target select. Okay, so here is the fleet card. You can't hit a submarine with anti-ship missiles, so it's not eligible. So obviously, damn it. Damn it, I said the fighters were going to intercept. I said the fighters were going to intercept. So, 3 NATO fighters at 3. They got nothing, so that's not going to affect the outcome of the missile battle. And now you got the Soviet ASF at 6. It does get a hit and shoots down 1 fighter. And then the backfire and the blinders each have an intercept of 1. So that's 2 NATO fighters shot down in the interception. That didn't go the way they wanted it to. No, that didn't go at all the way they wanted it to. So, 2 fighters are shot down. And now they got to take 5 general hits. So that's everybody. No, not quite. Since he lost his fighter anyway, they can take 2 hits on this carrier. It's gone. 3 more hits remaining. They take 1 hit on the frigate. That's 3. And then they have to take 2 hits on the supercarrier, which means one of those planes and one of those planes is going to have to land. Okay, so 2. And since they're whittled down now, I don't think we need the fleet card anymore. So let's turn back this way. Take that off of there. The supercarrier's sitting here now with 2 damage. The attack bomber lands at the Naval Air Station in Scotland. The ASW chopper from the carrier and one of the ASW choppers from the supercarrier are going to also have to land in Scotland. The SSN is still here, and the ASW chopper, I'll fix it up off camera. He still had, or the supercarrier still has 1 ASW chopper aboard. No, wait, he doesn't. Scratch that. He took 2 hits, which means he loses 2 slots. So all of the ASW choppers that were out with the fleet have to land at Scotland. Okay. Now we've got the attack on Akershus by 2 Marines and 3 airborne. 1 mech defending. Okay, and everybody is attacking at 2 because of mountain terrain. So here we go. There is 2 hits, only 1 was needed, but they got 2. So the mech defends for a hit. Okay, so the Soviets have captured Akershus once again. They're around on there, he comes off. One of these guys is the casualty. And actually, I'll just take him off there. There we go. Okay, and now Finland. An air cav, an attack chopper, and an MBT attacking a light infantry. Okay, there's no terrain, so the MBT is at 4. It's a miss. The air-supported air cav is at 5. Okay, there is the hit that was required. The attack chopper got an overkill hit. The light infantry defends for a miss. Okay, the Soviets were trying to play diplomacy with Finland. That's why they delayed the invasion. They were trying to keep Sweden from aligning to NATO, but it just wasn't going to work out. It was taking too long. So, the Finns have been conquered. And that's going to put the Soviets up 1. So they will go up 1 to 43. All right, that's the end of combat. Non-combat. The 2 fighters in eastern Iran fly back to Baghdad. Oh, wait, there was another combat. Hang on a second, let me check something real quick. Yes, there is one combat that I overlooked. The 2 mechs and Spag are going to make an unopposed attack into Afghanistan and take possession of that for the greater glory of Soviet communism. Now, this does trigger a defense treaty with the United States to be signed by Pakistan. So, I'll put the defense treaty marker on there off camera. All right, that's the end of combat. For non-combat, we're landing air. So these planes, the ASF is going to land in Nordland. He's land-based, but the backfire and the 2 blinders are naval bombers, so they have to go back to the Naval Air Station in Murmansk. Okay, there's that. Just to do his bit, the ASW carrier is moving back out here to A7 to try to give the amphib there what paltry protection they can offer. Well, actually, I remember saying only one of these SSNs fired missiles. The other one's also moving to A7. There we go. Okay, that's it for non-combat. Now we're ready to place units. So as long as I've already got the camera over here, we will just start here. And I'm going to go slightly out of order, but that's so I don't have to carry the camera back around here again. We can do these kind of things in solo games and nobody complains too loud. So the destroyer and the 3 frigates are built in A9 at Major Shipyard. And then as long as I'm here, I'm going to go ahead and deliver the military aid to Warsaw Pact so we don't have to come back. So there's 2 fighters into East Germany. And the rest of the purchase, as I'm sure you probably already guessed, is going into Baghdad. So, building 2 more fighters here will make a total of 4. And then 2 MBTs go in there. Okay, that's that. Now we are collecting money. 43 plus 43 plus Tehran, Baghdad, Akershus. So that's plus 4. 5 for computers makes 9. And then 4 for Shiraz makes 13. So 43 and 13 is 56. It's really insane when Warsaw Pact's income is almost as much as the Soviets. But that is the case. Okay, missiles. 2 cruise missiles were fired. So that's going to be a net gain of 5. All 6 anti-ship missiles were fired and they build 5. So that's there. All 6 P700s were fired and they build 5. So that's there. And then 4 KH-22s were fired, but they build 5. So red chip goes there. Ozark Outpost, over and out.